get nervous, to be honest.
Not nervous at all.
I used to do track, so you're wearing like basically spandex in front of thousands of people. So yeah, this is not bad.
Where did you do track at?
I did it in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh,
So
okay.
I made the national team when I was like 15.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was pretty good.
What did that consist of? Like traveling and
Yeah, I used to travel. We traveled to places like around the Caribbean, like Bermuda, for example.
you keep cutting in and out.
Oh.
I think it might be the microphone. Sorry.
Let me see. I think my lips are a little dry.
You got water there too.
Yeah.
So you would travel in Trinidad or around Trinidad?
Oh yeah,
doing
we used
these
to
meets?
we used to travel around Trinidad, and there was one particular competition called Carifta, where all the Caribbean islands would compete against each other, and every year that competition would change. So, say for example, when I was 15, I went to Bermuda to compete. I became third. In our specific race, Jamaica and Barbados won, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking though. I ain't gonna lie. yeah, we cried. Yeah, especially me. I'm not gonna lie. Because I mean, you train so hard, right? You train so hard. You try to do everything perfectly,
Yeah.
and then you go somewhere. Because to make the national team, you gotta go through like districts. Then you got zonals. So we got zones and stuff like that. Then you go to nationals, and then you make the national team after national trials. So you got to go to
Whoa.
another, because you got to qualify for that one.
Right.
Everyone could go to nationals, but then you got national trials. It's like the Olympic trials. You got to
Yeah.
get invited to that one. Yeah. And
Wow.
then you go to like the Olympics. So after the Carifta trials, it doesn't matter what you did before. You must like run the qualifying times for the games. And then you go to the games.
Wow.
And then you got heats. And then you go to the finals. So
Whoa.
yeah, it's like a lot.
So how far did you guys make it?
We made it to the finals.
Okay.
Then we didn't win. So yeah. So
What was that feeling like, making it to the finals of something so prolific? And then, I mean, I would imagine there's got to be like some sort of satisfaction or gratification to be able to make it to that point.
definitely? So it's like when you train, or when I used to train for track, you go in with the mentality that you're going to get to the final.
Of course.
So you have a coach that always enforces this rule that each race is yours, even though it's not. So like I remember running at my Carifta trials, like the 100-meter heats, like the first one, and you already know the entire lineup. So there's like 10 heats, and it just keeps knocking down to like prelims, then semis, then finals. This was before the actual competition. And it was just me and this other guy. And I'm like, okay, we just need to stay together because we know we were faster than everyone else. And all the heats just started knocking down. And when it got to semis, then it was serious. Then finals, it was like, okay, all out. But going to the actual competition, we all knew we were going to be there. We all knew we were going to be there. I still have a colleague that was on that team. His name is Jareem the Dream Richards. The Dream is his like track name.
Okay.
He runs competitively, like professionally. In 2017, he was like world champion.
Whoa.
200 meters. Yeah. We all grew up as like kids too.
Wow.
Yeah. But my life went differently. Yeah.
You didn't want to pursue that at all?
I did. So when I moved to New York, I actually moved on a track scholarship.
Okay.
But before you go to school, they have you do like training here so you could acclimate, because in the Caribbean, the coldest temperature we get in Trinidad is like probably 72 degrees at night.
Oh, how
Yeah, we
poor
don't have,
you.
Poor me. Poor you, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we don't need coats or
That'd
long
be so
pants.
nice.
Like right now, I'm kind of cold. Like,
Are you?
Just a little bit. Not bad in a bad way. I'm just
Okay.
talking about like outside.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. This is nighttime for me.
Oh,
Usually.
wow.
Yeah. So normal day is like 93, 96.
Wow.
So when you outside training, you just in shorts. But here,
Right.
when I did track, when I came in January 2014, I had to wear like 4 layers to jog and warm up. Yeah, so because of that, I ended up ripping my hamstring.
Oh.
Yeah. So that took a while, and then I went to a D3 college in New York. But I ended up recovering in time and became the captain of that track team by sophomore year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to adjust that microphone. It keeps cutting in and out, and I don't know what it is.
Oh, probably. Am I too far?
I don't know.
I could come all the way up.
There you go. That sounds great.
Yeah. I come all the way up. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah. I could even.
Yeah, just move it wherever you need.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That is crazy. So you tore your hamstring. What was that recovery like?
Horrible. You wouldn't believe what your hamstring is connected to.
Yeah.
Like you sneeze wrong and you feel it. Like imagine you coming home from a day of work and you don't want to untie your shoe, so you just press the back of your shoe off. You can't do that.
Oof.
That comes from your heel all the way up to like your lower back.
Oh my
and it goes right through your hamstring. So as soon as I did that one day, I just collapsed.
Oh my god.
So I did like shock therapy or electrotherapy, what people call it, water therapy. So I was like jogging in a pool for like 2 hours because I was like, I need to get this track stuff back. And then while that was going on, I got a mathematics scholarship, a math scholarship.
Okay.
And then I was like, I signed the contract because it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna pay your tuition and everything. And then I didn't read it. So I had to change my major to math and keep it that way.
Oh.
So I have an undergrad degree in math. So that was cool, I guess. Yeah, it was cool. But I didn't get to explore other things. And then I had a REU. You know what a REU is?
No.
It's a undergrad research experience. It's like an internship for undergrads, but just doing research.
Okay.
At MSU.
Oh, cool.
When I was a junior. And then after talking to a couple of professors, they was like, you should apply for grad school because you're pretty good at this. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think I am. But they were like, you should apply. We could waive your fees and stuff. And I was like, that sounds free to me. So.
This episode is brought to you by Red Bike Delivery. This delivery service operates only using battery-powered, eco-friendly transportation. Red Bike Delivery is there for all your delivery needs, whether it's dinner for the family, flowers for your partner, or new houseplants for your new collection. Red Bike Delivery will gladly deliver those and everything in between. So what are you waiting for? Check out Red Bike Delivery on Facebook or Instagram for more information. Red Bike Delivery, because there's only one Earth.
So I did it, and then I got accepted into the PhD program, but I only wanted my master's. But they was like, you'll have to pay for your master's. I was like, oh, well, what's the free option again? And then, and then it just kept going from there. So
wow. So how long have you been in school total?
Probably since I was 3.
Smart ass. Like college. How long have you been in college?
So I started my undergrad 2014 till now. So like 8 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Is it?
How old are you?
How do you think I am?
I would say you're like my age, like 28.
Wow, that's crazy. You old as hell.
Wow, that is disrespectful.
Am I? You're not 30, right? No, I'm 25.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're roughly my age.
Really rough, but I'm 25.
It's just crazy to think about 8 years. Like in school, I work at General Motors, and I just got to my 9-year mark, creeping up on 10 years. Like, wow, that seems like a long time to me.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you do there?
What do I do there?
Yeah.
I do assembly line work.
So 9 years?
For 9 years. So I could imagine that, like I think about all the like accomplishments and all the things that I've done in that period of time, and it just seems like a long time.
It is a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because going to school in New York, it was a great experience because I had a great group of friends. The school that I went to was really big. It was Mega Evers College. So Mega Evers, big activist in the U.S.
Mm.
And there's this college named after him, like a little over 40 years ago.
What's his name?
Medgar Evers.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the three M's, like Malcolm X,
Oh, okay.
Martin Luther King Jr., and Medgar Evers. Yeah, yeah. He was assassinated early, so a lot of people don't
Of course
know
he
about him.
was.
But he was the one actually. He was more so like Martin.
Okay.
Peaceful voting rights. So that school was named after him, and that school had a multitude of different cultures. Like it was wild. It was super wild. Like you go there, and every country you could think about, everyone was there.
Wow.
Yeah, people used to be dancing in the hallways. People used to be dancing outside. We used to have like block parties because our school was so small because it's New York, right? It was in Brooklyn. So you used to shut down this one street and we would have Spring Fest or Fall Fest, which was this party.
Wow.
And the entire school would fit there.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many students went there? Would you say?
I would say definitely less than 3,000. Probably even less than that. Like,
that's crazy.
Much less.
That's crazy.
But I don't want to
But it's diverse. Like extremely diverse.
Extremely. And it was like 70% women too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your chances, were pretty high. Yeah.
Wow. So what are you doing now? I mean, you are at MSU. What's your goals and what's in store for the future for you?
Graduation.
Great. And when is that?
Hopefully next year. So actually, to be more serious with your question, like, I'll be a smart ass. I joke all the time, right? Always, I think humor is a blessing.
Yeah.
And just to laugh at something simple is.
Oh, yeah.
So I always try to make small jokes every now and then.
That's important.
Yeah.
It's really important to joke around.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah. My wife hates it because, like, she's like, could you just be serious? Why?
Yeah, exactly, right? So, to be serious, so I do research. So specifically, I do NLP research, which is natural language processing. So I focus on societal harms, the ones that are socially constructed, like women are this, men are that, or stuff against the LGBTQIA plus community, and or even social harms that arise from BIPOC communities. So that's Black, Indigenous, people of color. So I just had a couple papers accepted to conferences, so I got to travel around the U.S. and maybe around the world to present those.
Wow.
But in its entirety, I just like to focus on linguistics with a computer, and then see not just what you can learn from the machine learning algorithms, but what you could learn from the people that create the data. Then you make machine learning models specific to that. So let me give you a prime example. So you have, let's say, mainstream American English, which is what's up, right?
Right.
Then you also have what's called African American English, or AAE, where people say, yo, what's up? To you, you know exactly, those things are exactly the same.
Right. Yeah.
Computer does not. And it produces like horrible results.
What's the result?
So say, for example, you have something called machine translation. So machine translation is you go to Mexico and you like, damn, I don't know how to say hi. And you type in hi in Google Translate, you get hola, right?
Yeah.
That's machine translation. If you say, what's up in English, it'll say que pasa, right? Same thing. But if you say what's up, which is the same thing linguistically, they're like semantically equivalent. It spits out mal, the word mal, which means evil or bad. So the goal is to, how can you make mainstream American English, which is, let's say, MAE, let's just condense that, and AAE, which is African American English. How can you make those two words similar in this semantic space to produce the same result? Because they're the same word.
Yeah.
To us, we know exactly the meaning,
Right.
and it should be the same meaning in a different language because
Right.
they're all English language varieties, even dialects. So every now and then I have like this American accent, and then I have a American accent. So I can also switch my accents according to how I speak, who I speak to, and how comfortable I get.
Why do you do that?
Because sometimes it's kind of annoying to be like, "Huh, what you said? Can you say that one more time?" Like, you know, it's kind of annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes I can't help but to.
So do you have to actively think about changing your accent when you're
Most
talking?
times, yeah.
Yeah.
Even now, right?
Yeah.
Just to get some words across, it would switch into, so there's like a spectrum. So you have my Trini accent over here, and then you got the American one over here, and then you gotta.
I can tell.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotta. It just wavers sometimes,
Wow.
and sometimes it's like all the way here. Yeah. And then if I talk to family, it's all the way over here.
That's interesting.
So it just, yeah. So you're gonna hear a change every now and then.
That is very interesting.
But I don't have like actual control over it sometimes. But if it's all the way like the American one, definitely have full control. But when I get like a little comfortable or I guess excited about something, it'll just keep going back to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like,
right.
damn. Yeah.
That's one thing that always kind of fascinated me was different accents from different parts of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do we have that? Why is there a
Different
southern
accents?
Yeah, why is there a southern accent? Why is there like a Boston accent or like a Chicago accent?
Access to education.
Or like a northern accent?
It's access to education. These things all go all the way back to slavery and the freedom of slaves. So I don't know, say for example MSU was like built up in 1855. Not a good time for black people here, right? So
No.
there was even schools in the South that only allowed one black student at a time to go there. And there was this one guy who got his degree. He had to sit in the corner of the room while the other students were right in front directly of like the chalkboard, or we call it a blackboard.
Mm-hmm.
And he still scored higher than them. And then more black students started to get enrolled because the white students were asking him like, "Can you teach us?" And he did. It's really out of, I guess, the access to the education and the people that are around you who allowed you to speak certain things. Coming to America and you learning about American history, it's not as great as you would think it is.
No, it's not.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you, right? Being in the Caribbean or being in any other part of the world, especially countries that are considered like third world countries,
Mm-hmm.
when you get access to cable, I think I was like 11. We didn't have cable before, right?
Wow.
So yeah, I was like 11, and I remember me and my cousin, we had a little TV and we had a box, like a cable box. You hit a different box. Yeah. All of those things I had to practice, right? Like A's in America, like O's are pronounced as like A's.
Oh wow.
And like double T's are pronounced as D's. Did you remember that? Like this is what?
Oh right, water.
No.
A bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottle.
Right.
I thought bottle. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so
But it's pronounced differently in different parts of the country too, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
But most likely,
like I think
double T's.
Northerners run everything together.
Do they?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Where north?
Like Michigan, like the Northwest.
Oh, and yeah,
Northeast.
This is the furthest I've stayed.
Oh, okay.
I just visited other places. But,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm from Florida, and so people talk differently down there too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Florida is like a melting pot of people too.
Oh, it's wild. It's a wild place.
It's great
Yeah.
and hot.
Very hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We was talking about something before this.
We were talking about running letters together, like D's and T's.
Oh no! Before that, the cable.
Oh yeah, the cable.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I was like 11 when we first got cable, and I remember watching TV, and then you got Disney Channel, you have like actual Cartoon Network, and not CN that they got now.
Yeah.
Boomerang and stuff. But you had channels like MTV, VH1 and stuff like that. You watching these American movies on other channels, and you're damn like, damn, this is what it is to live in America. Like, this is the only country on TV, right, that used to idolize having a big house and a white picket fence and a lawn and grills and stuff. And you're just like, damn, I wanna get rich and move there. Everyone, that's the ideology everyone has.
Yeah.
And then when they get here, it's like, you got taxes. You want to move to New York. Oh, you want to pay $1,600 for a room.
Yeah.
Like, there's apartments in New York that is smaller than this room.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I believe it.
Yeah. So you walk in, you have a bed and a shared bathroom, maybe a cabinet for a closet, and that's it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you ever live in one of those?
No. But I have friends who do.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Why would anybody choose to live that way?
Because you can get all your dreams in New York.
You can?
Yeah.
What dreams are those?
So if you want to act, the school's there.
Yeah.
There's people who play, I kid you not, there's this guy who played $3.5 million violin
Whoa.
in the subway
Wow.
because he was backline or back row in Juilliard, and he had to practice, but he couldn't practice in school. And I used to go to practice or hang out with friends late, so we would take the subway, and he's in there.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, this is really good. And then one day I went to Juilliard. So when you have like back row, they want to like come up to like fifth row, whatever.
Yeah.
You get like free tickets. You know, you always look for the free stuff, you know, that you can enjoy. I mean, you could pay for stuff, but if you could find it free, like, why not, right?
Right.
But the back row always has free performances. So I would always go to Juilliard to look at these like people who play instruments like the violin, the harp, viola. And one day when I went to Juilliard, I was like, wait, this guy looks familiar. And he's playing the exact same thing. And this room was packed. Like, this room was packed with people. But in the subway, everyone is like, yo, move. Like, you blocking the train. And I'm like, damn. So I think that's just a really good example of go where you're appreciated
Yeah.
and not where you're tolerated. Because he kind of was in the way. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. But in Juilliard, the atmosphere was completely different.
But people didn't realize what was right in front of
Yeah,
them.
people
They were
did
walking
not.
by, not even paying any attention
Yep.
to them.
Because you're not valued. I think that was a great lesson to learn, that you're not valued in certain environments.
Yeah.
You need to go where you are wanted and appreciated, and people could see your value.
I think that's pretty cool, though. I mean, because to play in a subway, to me, I've never been to New York City, but to me, like,
You
from
need
like,
to. You need to go.
what's that?
You need to go.
I don't need to. I don't really want to.
Yeah.
But like, to kind of put yourself into one of the like, I mean, it's kind of slummy, right? To go play in like in a subway when you are going to Juilliard. Like, you don't need to. You don't need to do that, right?
You don't need to.
But
I mean,
to put yourself into that position,
Yeah.
to where people are just walking by you and don't give a fuck about you.
Exactly.
Like
But that's New York in general.
That's so crazy.
That's New York City in general.
that's crazy.
Yeah, no one cares who you are.
It's because there's so many people.
There's people, and in New York, they be like. So a lot of people think New York people are mean. New York people are just aggressively polite. yeah.
There's
They
to
like-
the point.
Yeah. Aggressively polite.
They got somewhere to be.
All the time. Because New York is like this. And when I mean like this, it's like, if you step wrong, like if your Uber is 2 minutes late, you can miss your train and the next one comes like 17 minutes later.
Whoa.
Which, like, so if I was like coming here and I miss my train, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
If it was like a hard deadline, like you got some other people coming in, I'm just like, we got to reschedule. You always like running to catch a bus.
Oh
And then
my
the
gosh.
people curse out the bus drivers and stuff. People fight. I mean,
I couldn't make it in New York City.
nah.
I'd be late for everything.
Or you just would need to be aggressively polite. Yeah, that's just how it is.
That's funny.
The luxury
Yeah.
of you having a driveway right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't think I could live in New York City. I don't think I could live in any big metropolitan area. I don't know. I mean, Lansing's pretty big, but it's not as big as like New York or
Oh.
anything like that.
Yeah,
but
going from
it's like
New York
moderate.
to here, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's small.
tiny.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
You can literally get through Lansing in like 2 minutes.
And you see the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
If you go to like bars and stuff, you would see the same people.
Right.
But in New York, you could legit
Never see the same person again.
Never. Like, you could just go to different bars and just never see the same people again.
So was it a shock to come to the United States?
To live here, yeah.
Yeah.
Not to come. Because I used to like visit
Okay.
like over the summer and stuff like that. Because I do have family here.
So what was the difference from living in Trinidad to living here? Like, what was the major...
There's like a bunch of differences, right? I think...
For you?
For me?
Yeah. I've never lived in Trinidad, so I don't know.
Okay, so a lot of the food back home is much better.
Yeah?
Not even
tastier?
Not even like trying to be biased or anything, but...
It sounds biased.
We grow stuff. Is it? Okay, so say for example, the Trinidad and Tobago used to be British owned, like a long time ago. So it still follow a lot of the same rules. But now it's trying to get Americanized because they want like the lifestyle of the Western, Western countries, which is more west of us, which is the U.S., and not north, which is England. You guys sell stuff. So, for example, like organic stuff. When I say you guys, I just say American.
Right.
Right. We grow all of that. We grow everything. Like everything. Like in my grandmother's yard, we have something called pawpaw, which is papaya. Pumpkin, cassava, which is yucca. Kariley, which is bitter melon. They call it bitter melon. It's bitter, so it's like if you eat it, it's horrible. If for you and I, younger folks like under 50 or something, it's horrible. Like, but
your old people love it.
Yeah, so old people eat it because it drastically reduces your sugar levels.
Oh, okay.
Like when I mean drastically reduces it, like if we eat it, you might have to want to like drink a cup of Coke or something like that because like or Sprite. Yeah. Wow. So the thing is, a lot of people back home don't get like diabetes because of these things because we have a lot of fruits and vegetables that we eat.
Right.
Or even like the Kariley leaves, you could drink some tea. You could boil it, make some tea. I just read a study it came out in like 2019, 2018. It's like, oh, bitter melon is good for like helping diabetes, reduce diabetes. And everyone in the Caribbean was like,
of course, we knew that.
Bro, you late. Like, like we grew up with these things. But yeah, we grow everything. So we had chickens, ducks, all of these things. Basically farm life. Yeah. So like even in the yard, we had guava tree, plum trees. We got mango trees. Everything grows. Everything grows there. Yeah. But when you come over here, again, you want the American lifestyle. So you want the Burger King, the McDonald's. You want this, you want that, you want this. And it's just like, damn, $2 for a burger? And then you go in the supermarket and it's like $10 for chicken. Yeah. So I guess that was one of the bigger differences. The next thing is like we greet everyone with like food and alcohol. So if you come back home with me now, probably in the airport, my cousin would probably, here you go.
Here's a beer.
No. A bottle. Oh. Okay. Of alcohol. Wow. A beer is just, no. So here it's like, so imagine this is a beer, this is a beer. Yeah. And we go out, we give you a beer. That doesn't happen. Like, that's in America. Like, bro, I got you a drink. Yeah. Back home, they would get you a 6-pack. Wow. That's yours. Wow. Like, I plan to go back home in a couple months. I would have friends coming with a case.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, hey, it's like I got you this round, you got me back. No, back home, it's like, you coming home, I will buy a bottle for you.
Hospitality is insane.
Yeah. And if you go home, you gotta eat. You gotta eat.
That's one thing. My dad, my biological dad, he's from Honduras. And so, I have obviously a lot of Honduran family members, like his sisters and whatever. So whenever we go to their house, they're like, let's feed, like, here's food. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm full.
I just went there a couple months ago, too.
Honduras?
Yeah.
How is it?
Just the island off of it.
Okay.
Not the mainland, though. Yeah. It was
good.
Like it? Yeah, it was good. It was, actually went on a hike. It was pretty good. The beach was really nice. But they was playing like soca music, which is music from Trinidad. Oh, okay. Or the Caribbean itself, but mostly it originates in Trinidad. Right. And I was like, damn, I know this song. And they was like, how do you know the song? This music is from here. And I was like, I'm from here. And I was like, oh, great. And then we had a like conversation.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So I had some barbecue chicken and stuff like that, but it was pretty good. But I really enjoyed the fact that they go back and forth from English and Spanish.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that too.
Well, and it's a tourist area too, right?
Where
you were?
Yeah.
That's one thing my dad was saying, that Hondurans, they want to speak English, like because that's everybody's goal, is to be able to come to the United States.
Yeah.
Because again, that white picket fence,
exactly.
Life is better on the other side, which I'm sure it is.
Yeah. I think it has to do with the access to things.
Yeah.
Like materialistic things.
Yeah.
So say for example, growing up, you had to buy the feed for the chickens, buy the feed for the ducks. Here you can just literally just pick up 50 pounds of chicken if you want, just for a party if you want.
Right.
And then back home you can't do that, right? It would cost you hundreds, even thousands of dollars.
Wow.
So it's just the access to things here is what I guess TV and social media has like promoted.
I guess we've gotten so accustomed to that, like how easy access things are. I mean, and we're kind of seeing like the difficulty of that too, you know, right now with the way like the shortages are going, and like there's food shortages. Like it's unprecedented. Everybody's like, what is this madness?
Yeah. I think it was weird. I think it was even stranger when like COVID just hit and people was buying like 17 gallons of milk. I was like,
toilet paper.
Yeah, toilet paper. Everything was going crazy. But yeah, a lot of people here, they become like, they just don't know how to perform daily functions, like basic things. Like if hot water goes, people just fall out.
Yeah.
Like, bro, boil some water. Like why do you not have like certain things like a bucket, like a basin or something?
Right.
You know.
That's funny though that you say that, because like you coming from another country, like you understand what it's like to have to struggle on a daily basis to just live. Yeah. Whereas like most people in the United States, they can just jump in the shower and there's hot water automatically. Like
I don't call it a struggle though. I just feel like I know what it is to.
It's a different lifestyle.
Yeah, you know what it is to not have certain things,
right?
And how to live with those things,
right,
within your position. So say for example, like when you're living back home and it's time to shower, there's certain days that the country would lock water off to preserve water and stuff like that. Or if the water gets contaminated, remember it's a country of like, let's say 1.3 million people. Or when I was younger, it was less, right? So say like 1.1 million.
Right.
If the water gets contaminated with for some reason, it would shut towns' waters off for a couple days before it's clean. Now what do? Rainwater.
Excuse me. You're good.
Yeah. So everyone in Trinidad would have these tanks or barrels with rainwater. So you collect rainwater all the year round and you keep refilling it. Sometimes it overflows, obviously, right? Because you just have too
much.
You just have like say two tanks, and then you got barrels, like like plastic barrels.
Yeah.
And you would have all of that would be filled with rainwater. So you have all the guttering and stuff like that. You could put a little filter on it, whatever, and fill up these things. You could use that for like your showers and stuff. But obviously, if it's rainwater, it's not going to be warm.
Right.
So you definitely would just have to boil it or wait and shower in midday when it's hot outside and the water like warms up in the tank and stuff like that. So
right.
Yeah. So it's just a different lifestyle. So you're just like, all right, this currently doesn't work, but it's not the end of the world. Say for example, you said you have a wife. You at your mom's house, and you got to go on a date, and your hot water. You're gonna call her and be like, "Oh, I gotta cancel because I can't shower." No, right? That's weird, right? That's super weird. No, so everyone just has a different lifestyle.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
Coming here is easier though, right? You just have more access to stuff like especially if you live in an apartment, you just call up maintenance,
right?
But like when you live other places in the world, you are maintenance.
Yeah.
So by the time you're like 15, 16, you know the trades that people learn in their 20s.
Yeah.
So you could put tiles down, you could mix mortar. Mortar is concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could do all of these things. You could do woodwork.
Yeah. Yeah, most people don't know how to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We also graduate high school around 15 and 16. So
Oh, wow.
if you learn a trade by the time you're 18, perfectly fine.
Right.
But here, you're still in high school at
Yeah.
18. And you could smoke, but you can't drink alcohol, which I think is...
And you can do that in Trinidad.
What?
If you can smoke, you can drink. What age is...
Legally? 18. Everything is 18. Legally.
Everything. Wow.
Yeah, everything legally 18. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's one thing I didn't understand. I never understand about like
the rest of the world as well. Also 18.
What's that?
The rest of the world is also 18.
Except for the United States. Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's 21 to drink? Recklessness?
Yeah.
But you can join the military and go to war and die for your country.
Yeah, you could also take out $100 school loan.
Yeah.
At 18, but you can't take out a $10,000
business loan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's America for you. This is the things that they do show on TV, right? This is stuff that they do show on TV.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it's interesting. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should explain this to me. You've been here for what, 28 years?
I couldn't explain it to you. I never went to college.
That's fine, but I mean, like, you're like maneuvering in American society.
Yeah.
You should have like
a better
understanding of the community. Because to me, I just had to come here and just like fall into.
Yeah, but you coming into it from an outside source, like you kind of see these things. Like I grew up in it, so like you don't think about.
Yeah. I understand.
You know, like you grew up in a place where, like, if you're 18 or even 15, you're working, and you're you're learning a trade, and you're providing a living for yourself and your family.
Yeah,
and
you could.
But in the United States, you don't care. You're 15 years old. You're thinking about getting girls, going to school.
I would assume you would be like a sophomore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was 15, I graduated high school. And then you have an additional 2 years because, again, we use like the British system, right? So you got O levels and A levels. A levels is like you spend 2 extra years in high school doing advanced classes, and then you go to college or university after that. So yeah, by the time you're 15, 16, you could start working. You could
just stop school.
Yeah, that's it. Like you actually graduate. Like everyone graduates, and then you have to reapply for the extra 2 years because you need to be like cream of the crop to do that.
But do you have to do that?
No,
you don't have to.
It's optional.
Oh,
that's why you reapply for school.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So
I dropped out because I had the scholarship. But I did go back though. I did go back for like one term because we have trimesters, so we call those terms.
Okay.
So I went back for one term, and then for like the first spring term, which is a January, April. Yeah, I got the scholarship. I left in like a week, like 2 weeks. I told my friends, and they're like, you lying. And then one teacher announced it, and I was like, yeah, I'm flying out like Saturday. Like this is like, yeah.
My dad, he has a couple kids in Honduras, and he's always talking about how he has to send money for them to go to school, like because it's not part of their tax system. You know, like here in the United States, you don't have to pay to go to school. You know, you just go to school.
Here?
Yeah, you don't have to pay to go to like elementary school.
Oh, I don't know.
Public schools.
Yeah.
Like it's all incorporated.
Okay.
But like in Honduras, you have to pay for it. Like you have to pay for the transit, you have to pay for the education books and all that other stuff. Is that like that in Trinidad?
Nah, it's not the same. Nah. So what do you have to do? You have like the registration fees and stuff like that. You got to get them registered.
Right.
But then once you go to like preschool, elementary school is free. And then you have government assistance where we have a Ministry of Education. So we have a minister who's like basically kind of like a governor, but she only oversees education. So each school around each year they have specific like a timetable, and the government would provide all of these books. Yeah, and as you start getting older, the number of books decrease because you save money, you know, and then that goes back to the community. Well, the country basically.
Okay.
So say for example, you start first year. So first year is first grade. You have 8 subjects. You get all 8 textbooks, and that continues all the way up until like secondary school. But when you get to secondary school, like the second year, like if you do 10 subjects, you would get like 7 other books. You'd have to buy the other 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Then as you go up, it just goes like this, but the number just decreases. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. So, how do you like the United States? Do you like it here in Michigan?
It's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scenic, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like much better than New York, to be honest.
Have you had a chance to do a lot of different things here? Like go
Can you give
different
me examples?
Like go different places, sightsee. You said it's scenic, so
Oh yeah. So certain places like in Ann Arbor, Detroit, some places up north, like I want to go to Torch Lake.
okay.
Like
Yeah.
the UP.
Yeah.
Like it's super nice. Like you could see things. I also think it's also interesting that you see deer like running across the street.
Yeah.
I also think it's very strange that you can't do anything to them. But yeah, because people hunt, right? People hunt, but people hunt all the time back home. There's like no season.
Oh, okay.
If you see a deer that runs into your front yard,
You can kill it.
yeah, and today's what, Sunday? You could call people over today. Yeah. And be like, yo, we call it wild meat. Anything that you don't get in the supermarket, we call it wild meat.
Oh, okay.
So we have like even groundhogs or something like that. And you just pew pew. And then yeah, you have barbecue.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you don't have to buy a license or anything. You just kill it.
Nah, no license or nothing.
What a wild place.
Is it?
It sounds wild. It's like the Wild West.
I mean, so if you have a home and your family is just chilling in the backyard,
Yeah.
and a wild hog just comes straight, just rampaging through your backyard, it's kind of different, because here it's like, oh my god, protect it, make sure the kids go inside, protect it, make sure it exits safely.
Right.
Yeah, back home it's like, oh, get the kids inside, we got food for the next week.
See, I think that's a good thing to be able to kill whatever you want, whenever you want. But at the same time,
Not whatever you want, right?
What's that?
Not whatever you want, not people.
Well, no, you definitely shouldn't kill people. Yeah. No, cannibalism isn't not good.
And certain birds too, because we got protected birds as well.
But like here in the United States, I think it's important to have seasons for things and be able to apply for. I mean, because like if anybody can just kill a deer, like how many people are going to kill a deer, and like is there going to be a shortage of them? Like are they going to go extinct? What's going to happen? Like I think it's kind of important to kind of protect them, right?
Maybe.
Protect the species.
Maybe.
Because you don't want it to get down below a certain number, because once it gets below a certain number, then it's not.
Well, it's not like America, right? It's not like here. So
Right.
when you have hunting season here, it's like literally like 100,000 people go out
Yeah.
to go hunt
Yeah, but that's not that many people.
in a day. I'm talking about statistically,
right.
like around
Right.
the country.
Right.
Yeah, we might have 100,000 people
Total.
like
Right.
for the entire year. So
Right.
it's like much different.
That's true. That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like-
that's why.
like here, there's hunting as a sport.
Yeah.
Back home, it's not a sport. It's just like you see it in your space. You don't just, today we're getting hunting there, and you taking
Yeah.
you and all your family and your grandfather and his gun that he had from 1944. Like you,
Right.
no, it's not that at all.
Have you ever killed anything?
Bugs, bugs out. Maybe some iguanas too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you cook them?
Oh yeah,
Are they good?
yeah. They're great actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What does it taste like?
some people say chicken. I would say it is kind of remnants of chicken, but it's like if you overcook it, it could be chewy.
Okay.
Yeah. But you would curry it, right? You would curry
Okay.
it. Ducks and chicken, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Turkey, pig. Yeah, stuff like that. But stuff that we had in the yard as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to eat something we call a manikou.
What's that?
You know what it is, but it's different here because you can't eat it here. It's a possum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So manicous are exactly the same. They're possums. So that's why I was like, you know what it is, but it's like here they only eat trash and poop.
Right.
But back home they like feast on stuff that is in the garden. So they're more
Oh.
like grass fed basically.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So people eat those.
Cool.
I don't because they still eat poop. So so yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny. So, what you said you're going back to Trinidad here shortly.
Yeah.
How long are you
couple
going
months,
for?
Couple weeks.
A couple weeks just to
Yeah.
visit.
Yeah, just a visit.
Yeah. Do you plan on ever going back, moving
live?
there, or is you gonna stay here in the United States?
Not with a PhD. Like yeah, I'm about to get a PhD. So I mean, I have a lot of things going for me here. So it wouldn't make sense to go back home. At least not immediately.
So when you get your PhD, do you have your PhD?
No.
When you get it,
When I get it, yeah.
when you get it, what is your plans after that?
I mean, so okay. So currently, I'm a IT and data analytics intern for Kimberly Clark, which is a huge company that make like a lot of products like Kleenex, Clorox
Okay.
stuff. They're a product company, but they need data analytics people.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So maybe move down south where it's like warmer,
Yeah.
yeah, and not have to live in an apartment. Probably buy a nice house,
Yeah.
probably like 4 or 5 bedrooms, so I can get like family to come visit me and stuff like that. Yeah. So we can do what we do back home. But I know definitely when I go to visit, like right now, I can call family and they like ready. They like I can probably call my cousin. He probably has alcohol and food lined up. Yeah. That's just how
Wow.
it is. Yeah.
That's funny. It's so interesting the way different cultures are so accepting to having like family come in and like just, I mean, because they're willing to just have them come into their space and stay with them while like they're in town. Like, for instance, I have a cousin who lives in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and they're like, every time you come by, just you can stay with us. It doesn't matter. But like other people, like Americans, they don't want to be in like their house. They don't want people in their house. You know, it's just different. It's different.
So you don't let people stay here?
No, I let people stay here.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
All right.
no,
I'll be back.
What's that?
I'll be back.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
No, it's just different. Like the way people are, like actual Americans, and that's one thing I realized too, because like I found that side of the family just recently, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And they were just so accepting of everything, and they're just like, yeah, just stay with us. And you're like, you don't even know me.
Yeah, basically it's like that.
I can stay with you. And it was wild.
Yeah. Once you consider family, you consider family.
Yeah. Well, they don't even know me. Like, there's like, we know he's family. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you considered, right? They don't even need to
Right.
know you. Yeah. So be like, oh, that's whose son? Oh, whose daughter? Whose cousin?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then family.
Yeah.
And then they get to know you over the course of you actually staying there.
Right.
So, but also in Trinidad, it's like morals and values. So if you get up and you like offer to wash your dishes, you offer to help cook, you offer to do these things, they're like, okay. So now you gain like family points. But a lot of things is like also living here, you have people that don't want to do basic stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's why. So even when I was coming in, I was like, "You want me to take my shoes off?" It was just a house greeting because there's certain places, even certain cultures, you can't wear your shoes.
Right.
Yeah, and I went to school in a Muslim high school, so you have different types of high schools in Trinidad. So let's say if you break them down into like D1, D2, D3, D1 schools are the top schools. They're always religion based. So that community of people who are that religion,
Yeah.
they fund that school.
Oh, wow.
So you have Catholic schools, Baptist schools, Muslim schools, Hindu schools, like all over the country.
Wow.
All over the country. And these are like top tier schools.
Wow.
And then you have D2 schools, which are government secondaries. So the government funds these schools. The government.
That's where the poor people go.
Nah, not that one. The other one. So actually, all of this is still free, right?
Okay.
So all of this is still free, but from elementary school, which we call primary school, you have this exam called SEA, which is secondary entrance examination. secondary assessment. Say secondary entrance assessment, SCA or C, right? You would have to write this exam, which is basically kind of like SAT.
Yeah.
So it's like math, English, composition, which is like, I guess, storytelling, basically.
Writing.
Yeah. Like writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We call it composition, right?
That's what we call it.
Really?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. So you have that exam, and according to how you score your percentile, you get zoned to whatever school.
Okay.
And you always try to shoot for like those D1.
Right.
Yeah. So I went to one of those D1s, which happened to be Muslim based. Well, I grew up in a Pentecostal house, so it was different. So that was like culture shock.
Yeah.
But I went to primary school at a Presbyterian school, which was like a new. Yeah. So it's like, so it was always different.
Yeah. And you couldn't choose.
You don't want to choose, right?
You don't want to choose which religion-based school you could go to.
Oh yeah. So you do.
choose.
You have 4 choices.
Right. The Baptist.
Yeah. So the first one,
Catholic.
the first one I think I remember was Presentation College, and I think, I don't want to get it wrong, but I think that's a Catholic school.
Okay.
And then the other one was probably Catholic as well. And then it was Astra Boys, which was Muslim. That's the one I got to, like my third. And then the Baptist school was.
How was the Baptist one?
It was good.
Yeah?
I mean, I never went there, but the school itself was good. Like I had a lot of friends from there that we also did track. Like we competed against each other.
Yeah.
But their football team was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's football team was good, but that school, for some reason, was just, people went there for football. Like that was their first choice.
Wow.
And others went for like other reasons, right?
Yeah.
So I think Naparima boys, I think they were really good at cricket. And then other schools were good at football or swimming. Like Presentation was really good at swimming. Yeah. My school was really good at cricket, but I wanted to do track. Like I always been running, so any of the other 3 schools would have been better for me. I had to like write a letter to the principal allowing me to do track.
Wow.
And then I broke the school record, like for my age group.
Wow.
And then he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna allow more people to do this now." Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, the last one is called Junior Sec.
Okay.
The D3.
Okay. And that's where anybody can just go?
That's the one that's like 3 years.
Okay.
That's the one that you do as soon as you hit like 14, you immediately start learning a trade. Like you graduate and learn the trade. So by the time you hit 15, 16, you could go straight into the workforce.
Whoa.
Yeah, but they're trying not to do that anymore. So they're trying to make the junior secondary.
Okay.
So then you have senior secondary, which is the government secondary schools.
Why don't they want to do that anymore?
They think a lot of teenagers are in the workforce.
Oh, okay.
And they kind of like robbing them of like
Drowning it out a little bit, like
like they don't want to just rob
they're
like
flooding it.
young kids of school life.
Oh.
Because while you go to school for 3 years, they don't really get like the prom that everybody else has.
Right.
Because you just graduate at like a junior or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're like, you know what? Let's make all the schools 5 years, except for the D1 schools, which is additional 2. So 7-year school.
That's one thing I wish the United States would do. I wish they would have like some sort of transition program aside from like going to college for like to where you could go learn a trade.
Like,
Like
they do, right?
not like that. No, I mean, you can choose to go to like a trade school,
Right.
but like you can't really transition. Like,
Oh, you mean like to do like a couple classes, get your associates, and then like go to trade?
yeah, just like work into it.
Nah.
I don't know.
But it's accessible, so that's the
You
thing.
can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could definitely go from high school and do like programs. Where
Yeah.
you could get college credits as a junior or senior. Right?
Yeah.
When you get those college credits, you may be just shy of a associate's degree. So you could go to college for a semester or 2, get a degree, and then by the time you're like 18, 19, definitely go straight into a trade.
Right. That's not a bad way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what you want, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're somebody who doesn't think that you have a future in school and a future like in a professional setting, that would be the best way to go.
Yeah.
That's probably the route I would have gone.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Also, you can make a lot of friends who like do stuff with like you work at General Motors. You could also go to any mechanic store, or just off the book mechanic at 15 and be like, hey, I just graduated school at 15 and I want to do something. I could work for you for free.
Whoa.
And then get your experience.
Right.
You know,
and then open up your own
open
shop.
up your own shop in your own yard.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people do anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like different cultures and different countries have it down as far as the educational system. The United States is still kind of stuck in this like 1940s. Like we need
I think even before that, right?
Yeah, probably.
I'm not even like trying to downplay what you're saying. I really agree with you. One thing that I also realize here is like, okay, so in Trinidad, there's a lot of colonization that went on. So like Spanish, Portuguese, French, English. So you have like communities that still speak Spanish. Like the entire country still does. There's communities that we have indentured laborers that came in a long time ago from India. So you have communities that speak Hindi or a lot of different Indian languages. I went to a Muslim school. So that community where I was in, everyone spoke Arabic. Like we had to do that every day.
Whoa.
Everyone speaks English. Everyone speaks English Creole or Spanish Creole. And everyone is perfectly fine with that. Here, you speak Spanish somewhere and people are like, go back where you came from. What? It's real weird that in the American society that people like downplay people that have the skill to code switch between languages, not just dialects.
Yeah.
I think that's strange.
It is strange, especially because the United States is a melting pot for all these different countries. Is it? It should be.
Should be considered a melting pot.
I mean, you wouldn't say it's a melting pot?
Define melting pot.
I would say a melting pot, like we're supposed to be accepting of all these other countries and having people come from all these other countries to this one place to help make America what it is. I mean, there's so many different cultures.
You said one word in there.
What's that?
You said supposed.
We're supposed to. Because you're debating me on this. So
right.
So I'm just
supposed, right? That's your definition of what it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
But it's not, right?
I would say at one point in time, it was more of a melting pot, like back when everybody was immigrating here.
Yeah. I agree to you to some extent. Like America itself as a whole could be. But you got communities that do not accept anything less of like a specific demographic group.
So you're talking about acceptance.
That's what you said.
But I'm talking about like people coming here.
Yeah, people coming here like they're melting pots.
Right. Like it's supposed to be this melting pot where people can come from all these different countries and come here and be accepted and be who they are, and their cultures can be joined into the community. They can open up restaurants that they can speak whatever language they want in there. That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Correct?
But what is it though?
I don't know. What is it? I mean, coming from somebody who's an outsider, what is your perspective of it?
It depends on the community that you go to.
Yeah.
So again, growing up in a different place, and I say you have, remember I just said, or previously mentioned the different communities that you have.
Yeah.
So you have all these different cultures, all these different ethnic backgrounds. And then you come to a country thinking like exactly what you just defined is what it's supposed to be.
Right.
And then you get here and it's like, I found out the KKK was founded in Michigan.
I didn't know that.
Bro, that's wild. That's wild. I didn't even know there's certain places that I want to visit. And then I'm learning about sundown towns. We're in 2022. Do you know what that is?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I should tell you to Google it, honestly.
Yeah, I'll Google it.
What a sundown town is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sun downtown. Mm-hmm. Do it live on the podcast. Eventually, I'm going to have a setup where we can like pull things up on the TV.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, so Sundown Town. Sundown Town. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sundown towns, also known as sunset towns, gray towns, or sundowner towns, are all white municipalities or neighborhoods in the United States that practice a form of racial segregation by excluding non-whites via combination of discrimination law, local laws, intimidation, or violence. Whoa. So
Basically,
it's a racist town.
yeah, there's multiple of
They're
those.
like stuck in the 1960s.
Before that, right? Because the violence, that's really nicely written.
Yeah.
They'll kill you after
Huh. That's interesting.
sunset.
So what towns?
Like where?
Yeah.
There's still places in Georgia, Virginia, other places.
Tempe, Arizona,
There's
until the early 1960s.
there's probably still in almost all states.
So I would assume that it's got to be illegal, right?
This is America.
So it says Tempe, Arizona. Until the 1960s, Tempe was a sundown town where African Americans were permitted to work but encouraged to live elsewhere. In 1965, Warren and Carl Livingston were the first African Americans to buy property in Tempe. So I would assume that the remnants of that is still there, right?
There, yeah. But
Yeah.
there's still towns right now.
I want to look up what towns.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
could search sundown towns now or existing now. Like when you come over here, people just, especially being, I guess, black, but being consider myself Afro Trinidadian, right?
Yeah.
And you come in here and people think, oh yeah, you're black or just African American, like you grew up here entire life. Like if I
Right,
say absolutely
right.
nothing or just use the American accent, everyone is like, oh yeah, you're American. All right, cool. But then learning all the culture. And all
Honestly,
this stuff
I thought you were
behind it.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you got
I could
here.
tell. I could tell. But I was like, you know what? Let me just hit you with the left turn real quick. Yes, yeah. But then learning all of these things, especially moving to New York, learning the history behind Central Park was heartbreaking for me, and so much for so much people, like heartbreaking for a lot of people who even live there. So you heard about Central Park, right? It's like a huge.
I
It's in
can't find
movies
anything
all
on
the
it
time.
right now, but
You can find anything on it?
any active no. I wish I could. I have to read through these articles and stuff.
I probably can.
Yeah, you find it. Central Park though. What was that?
So back then, like a lot of years ago, there used to be a very rich black community that lived there, and they burned it down.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
No one talks about that.
No, I
That's it.
actually just heard that on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of black communities that have been in the U.S. where they burned it down or drowned the community.
Right.
Um,
And it puts them in poverty.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
now you have all of these people who like still asking for reparations or even just laws. And I think it's really strange when I just learn about the things that happened around the 1960s. You had a civil rights movement, but it wasn't a movement, it was a war, basically.
Yeah.
To be civil, bro? Like you have the LGBT community asking for equal rights. You have African Americans and black people asking for civil rights, which is like here,
Yeah.
like basic human needs.
Right.
Which is great because the LGBTQ I plus community has made like tremendous progress. But in this country, there's still much more to be done for a lot of minority communities, including that one.
Yeah.
But again, this is America, so who could benefit the most? I guess people make laws, and if they're not directly affected by it, then it gets pushed to the side a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's whatever's best for them at that time.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can find something on this.
We'll see.
I had a bunch of articles pop up. I feel like so we're an hour in and it's now getting intense.
Oh.
Like I wish I could just find a list.
I don't have a list, but they have like
Oh, here we go.
states. A list of sundown towns. Oh, I do have a list. Let's see. So this is sundown towns by state.
Okay, so I was on this.
You was on this?
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
was on
click the
this.
states.
And that's all of them?
Not all of them, but
All
the
the
ones that are
cities?
listed. Some that were listed.
I mean, there's a lot that are listed.
You had no idea of this?
No idea. East Lansing.
What I've learned here is being black in America is cool AF. But it's also dangerous AF.
Depending on where you go, right?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Not depending, everywhere, right?
So there is a list, but you got to click on the city because I think it's almost every city that's listed, like here in Michigan.
Yeah.
And then you just click on it, and then it tells you if it was or not. So it's kind of difficult to find. But like I clicked on East Lansing, and it said something about like it may or may not have been. Or
Yeah, I know for a fact that Grosse Pointe was kind of rough.
was it?
Mm-hmm.
So you learn that being black is cool as fuck.
Yeah, all over the country, right?
Yeah.
All over the country. So many different things, food, music, fashion sense,
Yeah.
just originated from the same people who were oppressed, but it got rebranded
Yeah.
to someone else.
I mean, almost a lot of things came from the African American community, like music, even like country music.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
yeah. Did you know? Like I always knew about it, but I found out more details about it. Elvis.
Yeah,
Had over like
he was
600.
he was appropriating it.
Right.
Yeah.
He had like over 600 recorded songs. Over 600, and he wrote none. Like
Wow.
absolutely none.
Whoa.
Like not a single one. He used to record artists, but he used to send the artists contracts, and they had to give up 50% of the rights to the song.
Whoa.
And then they didn't mind because back then when he sold like 400 million or
Yeah.
4 million or whatever, they would get a portion of that.
Right.
So they was like, okay, I'm making these songs and 20 people come into my Speakeasy concert. But you selling out arenas, so why not get a check for $60K at the time, right?
Right.
Compared to making like $300 at a Speakeasy.
Right.
And I play there every week, every night in the week.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like smooth finessing, I guess.
Yeah. It's crazy. Our history is crazy.
Yeah.
But like, what do you do about it today? I mean, because like, it just seems like one of those things that, like, and it's one of those subjects too. Like every time you bring it up, people get angry from like black people should have reparations or they shouldn't. Like who pays these reparations? Like, because if like my ancestors didn't do anything, why should I have to pay? Like this is a huge point of contention today.
Right.
Like, what do you do? What could be done?
I mean, the government.
Right.
Right. So first off, we go with the government. So the government. So say for example, not getting too much into detail, but this is an example. So you have troops and you have a budget for these people that go $1 billion, $100 million, and stuff like that. And you still have Katrina that hit in 2008. I was in Trinidad. I was probably like 11, 12. And we sent barrels to the United States. Like I had 4 pairs of shoes. I sent 3.
Whoa.
Yeah, I had to use my church shoes to go to school.
Wow.
Everyone, started making fun of you, like, oh, yo, church boy, blah, blah. Didn't really matter because when it's like, yo, you had 10 pairs of boxers. There's 7 days in the week. Send 3. Wow. That's like, this is legit what my grandmother said.
Wow.
So you then like, damn, you sleeping, balls out at night. So, which is fine because, at the end of the day, people like lost everything. You still have communities that you can drive by, that you can see a house that's in a dilapidated state that's been there for 14 years now.
Yeah.
Bro, what? There's places in Detroit that are abandoned, like completely abandoned.
Dude, you can buy a house in Detroit for like $3,000.
Right? And then spend like $30K doing like renovations and stuff. Like light ones, not like, because you don't have to fix the foundation because these houses are like 70 years old, right?
Yeah.
But if you go to like other countries, so say for example like Qatar, Morocco, like other places that all in Europe, they fix these communities.
Right.
People look and then be like, yo, the Middle East, there's certain places in the Middle East, the entire country is rich. Government caters to all its people.
Right.
Yeah, there's certain things going on right now in the Middle East, but let's look, for example, like Qatar, or you have like the Emirates.
Yeah.
You look there and you're like, damn, it's so rich because the country doesn't have to waste its money and resources on like unnecessary stuff.
Well, and that's kind of the problem too with the United States is we send money to other countries so they can rebuild their communities. But yet we have communities here like Chicago and Detroit and like the other one you just mentioned.
Yeah, New Orleans.
New Orleans. We have all these communities that have been ravaged by disaster or just like they're just poor ridden communities from like the past, and we don't fix them. Yeah. And that I think that's actually a good start. That would be a good start to fix these communities, offer more opportunities for the people that live in those communities. That way, once they rise, everybody rises.
Yeah, exactly. Also, this is just in my personal opinion. A lot of people may not agree with this, but I think something needs to be in place for countries that their annual revenue is like over $1 billion. You can't donate, like publicly donate. Don't like,
right.
Like Amazon is addressing this problem, or Microsoft, or this Kimberly Clark, some big company.
Right.
And then others could follow suit. Because, people donate.
Yeah.
But I learned that when you donate like $100K, you can write that off.
Yeah.
So are you really donating for real?
No, it's a tax write-off.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess who cares about what your motive is? You're still helping people. But
no, I think the intention is what really matters, right?
I think it does matter. But I mean, how do you know what somebody's intentions are?
When they genuinely do it with nothing in return.
Right.
Yeah. That's not the case here. That's not the lifestyle here. The lifestyle here is greed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're that rich.
Yeah, the lifestyle here is greed. You have people spending money on really unnecessary things.
Yeah.
10s, 20 cars, just collecting stuff. I mean, like, of course, you can always do these things.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people, in my opinion, once it doesn't affect you, it's like, I don't really care. But say, for example, I've met people before that had a lot of money and they didn't care, like they would buy boats. I've met, like, hung out with kids, like, around my age, like 17, 18, like, when I moved here, who have boats. Or they get like Mercedes-Benz and stuff like that. They just get it and they crash it, like total it, and they get a new one like 2 weeks. And I was like, damn, that's wild.
That's mommy and daddy paying for
right.
it.
I would drop my phone, crack my screen, and I'm like, damn, I gotta go to one of these phone stores and like, And then I've seen those same people and someone in their family may get diagnosed with something. And the whole family dynamic just changes.
Yeah.
You crash your car, you got to find a job to fix it. We got to pay bills for your mom. You got to pay bills for your... and then they're like, damn, we got to give back to the community. Now they're gonna take all that money they used to waste, like go down to a homeless shelter. What was this?
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know, that's why I think representation matters. So like when you watch these movies now, you see someone in a wheelchair, someone with bandages on, or a movie starts out with a person with cancer. That you got to educate these people,
Right.
because now you just got TikTok. You get famous off doing a 4-second dance. Even though I am a dancer too, right? But I mean, like, you just get rewarded for things that don't really matter in the long term.
Yeah.
So who are you like a year from now? Still doing TikTok? Great. You could also make a lot of money, but like, what's
what are
your
you doing
impact?
with that?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I love my research.
Well, and that's influence is a big thing, right? Like if you have a platform to where you can help other people, or you are making a difference, like people are following you, you have a pretty big following. Like, what are you doing with that following?
Exactly.
Like that, you got to be an influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why after the incident with George Floyd, a lot of people went to the pages of celebrities to see what they would say.
Yeah.
A lot of people just went MIA. A lot of people did the Blackout Tuesday, which is you just post a black picture, and people just ignored it. So I think if you have a platform like that, yeah. But as soon as someone crosses like a celebrity, like a manager, or like a other artist, like in a diss song,
Mm-hmm.
they immediately on live, immediately putting up a post, being petty, Twitter going crazy. But the loss of life, is just like, yeah, because I don't want to lose fans. I don't want
Right.
to lose followers.
Right.
It's more like an image thing than an actual act
Yeah.
of kindness.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to maintain my image.
I mean, that's a natural inclination for human beings, right? They want to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
And they don't want to make people mad. And I mean, that's one thing that I doing this podcast. I've had to try to learn how to like, because it's easy to like want to just be liked and say things that people want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think it's important too to just say how you feel, and whether it's like popular or not. I mean, it's good to like have these discussions and work your ideas out.
Yeah.
And learn. That's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think everyone always wants to gain a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Opinions do matter as well.
Yeah.
But respect is a big thing that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, it's something that I don't like. I could respectfully tell you this.
Yeah.
And respect your opinion as well.
Yeah.
But people are already just like, F you, F you.
I know,
this,
it's
that. They're so
crazy.
quick to just retaliate, because a lot of people hear to reply.
Yeah.
But they don't listen to understand what you're saying.
It's true. It's a big problem. And I think it's because of our attention spans aren't very big. I mean,
That's fair.
we watch these 30-second clips on TikTok. We're like, oh, fuck that guy. Don't like him.
Exactly. Basically, it doesn't even take that long, right?
No.
Like, say, for example, have you seen the Dave Chappelle
special? Yeah. I love Dave Chappelle.
What do you think? Do you know, like, the all backlash, the whole situation?
With the LGBTQ community? Honestly, I don't think he's I don't think he hates the LGBTQ community. I believe that he had a friend that he loved who was LGBTQ, and I don't know. I guess I don't really have like a certain thought one way or the other, but I don't think he's like against the community. Yeah. I think at this point now he's a point of contention in that community, so now he's just riding that wave.
Yeah.
But this is a thing, like with comedians, like comedians make fun of things. That's their job.
Yeah.
And people get angry when they say things that they think they shouldn't be saying. But it's like, that's literally the last profession out there where you can say the most wild shit, make fun of things. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have that.
Yeah.
As long as you're not being hateful.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Once you're not being hateful.
Yeah.
But again, comedy special, it was something that he he put out material. A lot of people didn't like it, and
Yeah. What was your thoughts on it?
the comedy special.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting. There was a little, like, some rough moments, to be honest. There was some rough moments, but there was one point in the comedy special when he said some words that his friend said, and even though his friend was transgender, right?
Yeah.
Um, he said that she always sat in the front row, and that she had a daughter, and she always sat in the front row, and she used to laugh so hard at all of these jokes that he used to make. And he said one bad joke one time, and he said this is when she just stopped laughing. And I was like, damn, what happened? So I'm like in this now, right? And he said that I'm having an experience and I'm happy. And that's the moment he realized that it doesn't take much to accept these people. Once you're happy, you could do whatever you want, identify as whatever you want. Once you're happy, because at the end of the day, that's all you really have. I think that's why I mentioned two things that matter to me the most is happiness and the quality of people. Because you have like surface level happiness. It's like, yeah, you get some food that you want right now. Yeah, that's great. But if you continue to eat well and you get to live longer than, previous generations, your quality of life is improved. The people that you keep around you, you don't want to keep a friend around you that always depends on you. Like, damn, I don't got no money. I could always ask David for some.
Right.
Which is great because you're a dependable friend. But to solely rely on you, that's not really good because then you're going to feel like you're used all the time.
Right.
Then your happiness and like you're going to have some emotional displacement. That's which is not what you want.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, all right, cool. I could go out. I could always have a good time with X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could always count on X, Y, and Z. But I don't need them because I'm straight.
Right.
I make sure they're straight. So at the end of the day, your happiness and the quality of people are extremely important. So that's the two aspects that I look at things. So if I'm not happy or the quality of like the environment, I leave.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important too to, like you said, realize like what kind of people you have around you, because if they're not helping you, like what's the point?
Exactly.
Like if they're not willing, like I've seen it before, like whenever you like something simple, like if you want to start working out and getting in shape, and then you have people who like want to go to the bar or whatever, like, oh, come on, man, fuck that. You don't need a,
exactly.
Like, you don't, come on, just have one beer. Like those are the people that like don't care about you and don't care about your personal goals and like your personal journey. Like, I mean, of course, your friends will be like, "Oh, man, you can drink a beer." But
I feel like also family is like that too, right?
Yeah. Family's
like,
the worst.
Because I used to be,
can be the worst.
Super duper skinny, like extremely.
You're a runner.
Skinny. Yeah, but like even before that, I just couldn't like keep down food.
Oh,
my metabolism was like way too fast, so I would eat like a couple spoons of rice and get full.
Wow.
And then burn it off. Like,
I wish I had that problem.
Yeah. So I was like still slim now, but I used to be like super skinny. Like I would do like this, and you'd see like my like I was just because I just always wanted to be. I always wanted to be like skinny.
Yeah.
But I also like couldn't help it at the time.
Right.
So when I was like, all right, cool, I want to start going to the gym or start eating more, or how can I slow down my metabolism? It was like, oh, you'll be skinny forever. Like. You'll lose weight. Like, oh, you got people in your family that are most likely overweight, and you got people telling them you'll never lose weight. You would always be this size forever.
Yeah.
Or you're going to die early. Those are the people you don't want.
Yeah. No.
And then when you do it, it's like, oh, yeah, I was just pushing you reverse psychology. Like, nah. I would unfriend, unmom, undad, uncousin, anybody quick. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I would really, you're not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's important to realize those negative and what would you call it? Like just negative relationships, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, we're an hour and 23 minutes into this thing.
Okay.
You're like, okay, we keep going.
Yeah, as long as you're comfortable.
I usually keep them around an hour because people kind of start checking out. Again, short attention span.
Yeah, I don't have a short attention span. I code for hours, so like, actually, it doesn't even feel like an hour to me. But anything you're accustomed to until you're ready to kick me out.
No, I'll go however long you want to go. I just don't know if you have certain things you want to get to on this podcast before we wrap it up.
I mean, anything you ask me, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, I'm not really nervous or anything. It's a conversation.
I honestly didn't do my work on before you came. Usually I like look up and see like, okay, what are we talking about today? Like, what did the person sign up for? And I didn't do that with you.
Okay.
I'm like, well, I'll just ride it out. We'll see.
Okay.
And because I was working out right up into the moment, like at 20 minutes before you got here.
I could tell.
Yeah. You could?
Yeah.
You could? How could you tell?
So the little vein right here. I be having it too. Like, you know.
It always feels good. Yeah.
He was like, Jamell is coming over. Let me knock out some push-ups real quick.
Dude, I used to do that before podcasts. I would get nervous. And so I would just start doing push-ups. And then it would help rise my heart and my heart rate. And I'd feel fine after that.
Why do you get nervous?
Why? I don't anymore.
Why you used to then?
I think I was just like, I don't know. I mean, I'm new to the podcast. I was new to the podcasting game. So like meeting new people and not like being afraid of not having something to talk about, I guess. Because I would get into like a conversation and 3 minutes in, I'd be like, okay, I don't know what to talk about. It was difficult.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, having a natural conversation, like a natural flow. Into the next.
Some people are different too. Like when you sit down with somebody you don't know, and this is the first time you're meeting them, you're trying to like get an energy from them. You're like, okay, like how do they conversate? And some people like they'll just say like one thing, and it's not open. It's not open ended. You can't like go off. You're like, okay, so like.
I think some people also they just like their body language too, right? They just.
Yeah. It's like they.
Question and be like, nah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now what? Yeah, I've had episodes like that.
He's like, so when did you start doing it? I was young.
Yeah, sometimes it's not easy. I've gotten better at it. And one thing I realized too is like if somebody's like that, I'll just start talking about myself. And then people can usually kind of relate to things. And then you just start talking about like random shit. Yeah. And you're like, okay, now we have a conversation.
Yeah, that's just basically how it starts, to be honest. But yeah, you could talk about yourself.
Yeah.
Or when you say, for example, you didn't do like the work, what do you normally do? Like Google them or something?
No, like it depends. So like if I have like a business owner on, I'll go and look and see what kind of business they have. I'll see what kind of things they've been doing recently, like in the community, what kind of things they have upcoming. And usually like when people sign up, there's like a section where they can type in like what they want to talk about. Oh. Which I don't think you did.
I didn't do that. Yeah, I didn't do that. It was like optional, right?
Yeah.
Because
it was optional.
I think the reason why I didn't do it is because when you invited me, you said you read the article by Voyage magazine.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit.
So I actually did do my research on you.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was kind of interesting because Voyage actually, I read that article. So I read it a few weeks ago. Yeah, that's why I reached out to you.
It's been edited though.
Has it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. What was edited?
If you read it, you'll find out.
I got to read it again.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I don't know. Just I guess some typo stuff because it's like all translation stuff. So I was I went back and I talked to the person who was in charge. I was like,
was it Jessica?
Yeah,
she reached out to me.
Great, you should do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like rising star, trying to like highlight some people in Lansing.
Yeah,
which I think is great because it gives you a little bit of exposure.
Yeah.
And then you meet some supportive people. Like I wouldn't have actually met you here if you didn't. Because I don't really reach out to people.
Yeah.
Because I used to, like a couple months ago when I started Cultural Explosion.
Yeah.
And people just like pushed it to the side. Like, yeah, that's gonna die off. Because a lot of things die here in Lansing.
Yeah.
Because you don't get a lot of support. So say like in New York, right? I kind of was like popular in undergrad. So if I started this dance class there, the traction would have been like amazing.
Yeah.
Here it's like whether you're popular or not, your friends are gonna support you. And if you don't have friends, one or two people might just come in.
Yeah.
But it's real strange here because everyone again wants to win. So it's like if your friends support you, you want your friends to tell their friends.
Right.
but then their friends don't really want to support you because they don't know you like that. I don't know. It's just strange.
That's interesting.
Because in Trinidad, we have like, say for example, we have these things called bread trucks or pastry trucks. So right now, if you and your wife, whatever family, starts to bake, you can have like a truck, like a not an actual truck, but like
Like a food truck.
like a not even like a food truck, like a
cart.
I we have these things called maxis. What is basically it's like a van with no windows, because it's all stuff in the back.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't really explain it. I could show you a picture of what I'm talking about. But basically is if you make a post or you tell people like, yo, I'm selling these things around the country or in your village or town, everyone would come out and try to support you just to make your first day go like worthwhile. Here, if you don't like do advertising or you don't like market yourself, it's like you would cut your red ribbon by yourself.
Yeah,
like,
you really do.
Yeah.
That's one thing that by doing this podcast, it's not really like a business, but by doing it, like I've had to reach out to all these people to get them onto the podcast in order to get like some sort of credibility. And then once you get that going a little bit, then you got a little bit. You get these people, you have like an arsenal of people that are willing to support the podcast, and it gives you this credibility so that other people can be like, when you invite other people on, they can be like, oh, okay, that person was on the podcast. I know this is kind of legit. And then it's slow going. It's been this process.
Yeah, basically.
I understand exactly what you're talking about. But one thing that I've noticed, like with local businesses here in Lansing, is that everybody seems to be supportive of everybody's business locally. Like these small startup or businesses, like from the podcast, having these people on.
Oh yeah,
like they all kind of know each other. Whenever they post something on social media, everybody shares it. I don't know. That's one thing I've kind of noticed.
Like for this is my friend Jesse. So
okay.
So he does this from a van. These are all local pastries like currants roll, sugar cake. So sugar cake basically is super interesting. Are you allergic to coconut?
No.
Okay, great. So what happened is you would take a dried coconut. So the jelly inside is hard, right?
Yeah.
And then you would crack it open, take all the stuff out. You would grate the coconut, right? When you grate the coconut, you would boil it with sugar, just sugar. So you would heat up some sugar and you would throw all the coconut in there. So it becomes really sticky. Then you would put some food coloring in there. Some would be white because the jelly is white, like the
right.
But you can make it any other color. So the normal colors that we use are like pink, maybe green. We have these things called pop-up balls and stuff like that. You can just have a van and just go around selling these things.
Wow.
And everyone will support.
Wow.
Not the same here though.
No.
I don't think it's the same support. But again, I know a different kind of supporting style. Because to me it's like, if you have a podcast, you do have a podcast, right? But imagine you have a podcast and say this was your first podcast. You could get 10,000 likes on it.
Right.
And you could have no one willing to come on the show. That's how it is here. I have a dance class that gets hundreds of likes all the time. And people like message me like, I'm scared. Like, what are you scared of? Like, I understand, but they're scared that I might judge them or something. I'm like, no, like it's a basic intermediate class. But I always teach like basic stuff first. But then when they see me in a party in Detroit or like an actual party, like, damn, I want to move like that.
Yeah.
But I can't move like that, so I'm not gonna come to the class. I'm like, oh, what's going on? You know, like choose. Yeah. So
that's interesting. That's kind of interesting because I mean I see it all the time. Like people will I don't know, like, especially like when I first started the podcast, people are super supportive. Like, I'm talking about like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. Like, people share.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you start doing it, and people like, there a lot of people watched it, and then it just kind of slowly dies off. So
Yeah.
people stop sharing it, liking it, and just now it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's the dying support.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it is. That's just something you get used to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You just gotta continue to put out content.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're passionate about it and you work hard and you still you're doing what you like to do, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's intention and motive. So if you're doing stuff for views, so like the actual TikToks and stuff like that, you don't do it because you could actually dance sometimes.
Right.
Oh, you don't do it because you actually care where the dance comes from. So you put it out there for views to get popular. Be like, yo, remix this,
right?
You know, stuff like that.
Right.
But if you're doing the podcast to actually get to know somebody, then you know, you should have instant gratification from there. Like, I got someone who's willing to come on the podcast.
Dude, it's like that every podcast. I'm like, it's crazy to think about too, because like last year this time, like I struggled getting people to want to come on.
Yeah.
But now it's like people are just signing up like crazy. Like I might reach out to a few people like you, but very rarely do I have to reach out anymore. But it's like an awesome feeling whenever somebody's like wanting to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then I sit down and have the conversation with them, and then afterwards I have like this glow about me. I'm like, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, you could definitely go work out after this.
Oh, for sure. I'm not going to, because I worked out for like 3 hours this morning.
Wow, that's wild.
Not really 3 hours. I went for a 4-mile run.
That's also wild.
What, 4 miles? No.
I'm a sprint. I grew up as a sprinter. So,
so you don't run long distance?
I did a couple of times because it's like mandatory and like track that you do like cross country.
Yeah.
Hated it every time. I even told my coach, I was like, Coach, I hate you right now. Like he was like, if I wasn't like the captain, he would like probably kick me off the team. But I was like, yo, Coach, at this moment, I'm not very fond of you. Like, how's that? Yeah, but it was like beneficial, but I hate it. I completely hate it.
Yeah.
But I still do like 1 mile, 1.5 mile runs.
Okay.
Now, just to keep myself in shape.
Yeah. And you lift weights, obviously.
I do push-ups.
Yeah. That's it?
Yeah.
Your arms are jacked.
Not really, right?
Yeah, they are. They're toned.
They're toned.
Just as toned as me. Or
not,
probably
not,
more.
Nah.
Yeah, they're definitely more toned than mine.
Nah, not toned.
Yeah.
But if I do go to the gym though, I swell. Like
okay.
Like you see this room?
Yeah.
It goes away. Like I swell really big. Like
what do you think that is? Like genetics? Do you think that's genetic?
Probably.
Yeah.
I talked to my cousin and he's like, if I start to like actually take stuff like say pre-workout or just eat more like 4 to 6 times a day, not like big meals, but like, he said that I'll get really big.
Yeah.
But I realized like I did that one time and I gained a lot of weight and I got huge and I started losing my flexibility.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, nope. I just went right back down. Yeah.
That's funny. So how often do you do the dance thing? The dance
once
classes?
a week.
Once a week.
Mm-hmm.
What days?
Wednesdays.
Okay.
8 to 9:30.
Where do you do it at?
One Love Global. So it's on Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Yeah. But I only have the space. I only get that space between that time.
Oh, okay.
It's not even guaranteed. It's not like a guaranteed space.
Is it like one-on-one or is it a class?
Oh, it's a class.
It's a class.
It's definitely a class. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool. That is cool. I should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
We're going on 2:30. I got like people coming over for dinner.
Okay. Yeah.
No so if people want to find you, where can they find you?
Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
So we do have a LinkTree.
LinkTree?
Yeah. But most likely follow us on Instagram, Cultural Explosion. You can search the word actual cultural explosion, but the tag is like Cultural Explosion without the E, because it's E for everybody.
Why did you start that?
Why?
Yeah.
So there's this bar in Alabosa. This bar named Alabosa in Lansing. It's this African bar. So in the daytime, it's like a restaurant. And then in the nighttime, it's like an African bar. And it was new. It just happened in February. And I went to a party. And it was like $20 to get in. I was like, all right, well, I'm in here now. Like, you know. So I went there and I started dancing. but nobody else, like nobody was dancing. And I was like, what the fuck? Like we paid money to come in here, like people buying bottles, which I also find is a strange thing in America. Like people buy $100 bottles that they can buy like for $40 outside. Or like I also think that's strange. Anyway, I started dancing and nobody wasn't dancing, and then like after like I guess an hour, I was just like, all right, get up, everybody, get up. Like I just started random people, and I was just like, follow me. And then I think this is a bad video, but it's on the actual site. And then I made the entire club start dancing.
Wow.
Everyone was having fun. Everyone was learning new moves. People just walked in. There was like, the whole club's moving. Okay, what we doing? What we doing? So then when the entire club started dancing, at the end, I went to the bar to get like a drink. And my friend now, she's with her now, Tasha came to me and she was like, have you ever thought about teaching a dance class? And I was like, yeah, I thought about it. But she was like, you should teach a dance class. And I was like, you're drunk. You're like, I immediately was like, you're drunk. And which she was, by the way. Right? But she was like, yeah, you should. I have a studio. And I was like, ha, I got my like Corona. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I walked off. And then I did it again. I started dancing again. This is the video. This is me here with the chain at the hat. Yeah,
That's
and I
so
had the
cool.
entire club, and I'm there teaching people. I was like, all right, cool. It's a simple move, simple two-step, you know? It's a push and a pull and a step, like a simple two-step. And everyone.
That's cool. That's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
That had to be such a good
You see
feeling.
where I was here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everybody's watching you.
And then, yeah, they were doing it, and then eventually it was empty, and then the entire club just started.
Where's that club at?
It's on Washington Square.
Okay. So it's downtown.
Yeah, downtown, definitely downtown. And then this is me and the owner.
That's cool.
Yeah, so the owner is actually his name is Taiwo.
Huh.
He's from Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
So every now and then he'll call me. He'll be like, "Hey, you want to make a video?" I'll be like, "Oh, we gonna dance?" And then he's like, "Yeah, meet me here." And I was like, "All right, well,
That's cool.
yeah." Yeah, so we also
So it's almost like a cultural dance, right? Like
yeah, so it's a couple of different cultures, right? So
would it be cultural appropriation if like somebody like me went and danced?
no, because so you're actually learning about the culture.
Okay.
You're not appropriating it. Like I'm
Right.
teaching you to learn about this because
Okay.
the goal of cultural explosion is to
learn.
teach cultural diversity.
Oh, okay.
So when you come here, when you come to Michigan, what's the music that you hear? You would hear like rock and maybe house music,
Yeah.
which also originated in Detroit. So you got
Yeah.
Detroit's house music. But have you ever heard any dance hall songs, any reggae songs?
Yeah.
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 Do you know
No,
how to dance them?
No.
Do you know what they're saying?
No, probably not.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't listen to them like on a regular basis.
Right.
Or
So,
anything.
but so then when you meet someone like me, who comes from this background, and they don't know how to code switch where you could understand them, so they don't waver like they're here, right here.
Right.
You're gonna be like, huh? Can you? I can't. Like, can you help me? Like, you know, and then now they feel like excluded because you don't
Right.
understand them, and they understand, like everyone understands Americans perfectly. I'm just letting you know this. So because when American people go to other countries, they're like, food, where can I get food? And everyone's like, what the fuck, bro? Like we yeah, like we get it, like you
Right.
understand, but we're gonna respond to you in a different way, and then you're gonna be like, I don't understand what he's saying. I think he's mad. He sounds mad. Like that happens all the time. So when you learn, when you come to Culture Explosion, you're gonna hear music that other people dance to, and you're just like, wow, this is really nice. This is different from what I normally listen to, but I
Mm.
can see why it's so nice. You learn different styles, and I also tell you certain things about like the history of things. So
That's
say for
cool.
example, we have this genre called soca. and soca is called Soul of Calypso. It's a shortened version. Calypso gave life to soca. Then from Calypso, you go all the way back to Kaiso, which is Indian and African influenced Kaiso music, which is a lot of drums. It's really nice to listen to. And before that, we have this thing called extempo, which extempo is in modern day times is both basically like a spoken word. But for extempo, you got to stay on a specific beat, and you have topics. So say like we talking about clothes, you got like 16 bars.
Whoa.
And then the other person has 16 bars. And you just continuously keep going until someone breaks.
Whoa.
Like it does not stop. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So we'll go back and forth, and then at the moment you're like, and then they're like, all right, great. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So yeah, it's not appropriating it because you're not doing it to be like, all right, cool.
Right. You're not getting it for clicks or social media
yeah,
cred.
exactly.
You're doing it.
Coming here to be like, all right, cool. I just learned a dance from Jamaica today.
That's cool.
I just learned here. So if I ever go on vacation, I don't just want to be like, I want to show my friends that this is amazing. Like, no, when you go on vacation or say like you want to go back to Honduras or anywhere else in the Caribbean, you're like, no, I can be a part of this now.
Right.
You know, you can also, so it's also to give these communities that are non-American a sense of belonging here in Lansing as well. Because being from the Caribbean, I don't hear no Caribbean music here.
No,
like
I don't
at all.
Yeah.
It's
too far away. That's why.
Is it?
Yeah, because if you go to like Miami, you hear it all the time.
Right. That is, yeah, true. But there's karaoke places right on Mac Avenue that play Chinese music.
Really?
And have Chinese karaoke.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So is it too far though? No, right?
No. I mean, is there like a huge community of Caribbean people here? Because I would assume.
Don't know.
You don't know.
No, I don't know. But I
would assume that like wherever there's like a community of it, they'll host events and things like that of that nature, right? Because I
would assume so, but I think Lansing is not that kind of place for inclusivity.
Well, maybe you're the start of it.
That's the point, right? Yeah. So I try, and so even starting like Alabosa Bar, like I've met so many different people from Africa. Like people from Senegal, people from Sudan, people from Egypt, like people from Zimbabwe, people from Ivory Coast. Like it's so wild. And then coming to the dance class, you're meeting people here and people coming from Colombia, Venezuela, like people from America as well. All Central American people like coming through. I met this one guy. He's from Ecuador. People like all over, and it's like, damn, where were you guys before? And you literally ask them, and they're like, we're home.
Right. Because there's no activities for
we're
them
home.
To go do.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Like I went to like this MSU had a gala, like an African gala. Bro, you wouldn't believe the amount of flags that were there. There were flags that I didn't even know.
Whoa.
And they all go to MSU.
Whoa.
There was people flying in just to support, and I was just like.
So have you thought about maybe like hosting events? Like maybe like just with the college kids even? Like
yeah, I hosted one event there.
Yeah.
But again, it's the support because it's a physical activity where you actually have to move do something.
Right.
And then people because when you learn, it may look easy.
Yeah.
You have to, as an adult, you have to train your body to do something else.
Right.
Because you could be like, all right, cool. For a bar class, say for like a ballerina, there's a bar. They say, yo, one exercise is just to kick one leg up. And then when you get to the class, they be like, oh, you got to be on the toes on your left foot and then kick and you're left. Oh, and then you realize your toes not strong enough. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
They go to the class and like, damn, I can't move my left side like how I move my right side. And they're like, oh, snap. Yeah, I can't do this. Yeah. So people think about that before they come to the class and they get scared and they don't come out.
Right.
So you got to bribe them with like food.
So it's kind of like yoga. You can do it at any entry level.
Yeah.
Any entry level.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can do it.
Yeah. Basically anybody could do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, man. Well, we're almost 2 hours in.
Yeah.
That's wild. I feel like I could sit here and talk to you forever.
Yeah.
You're a very
good.
interesting person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And it was a pleasure sitting down, talking with you, and getting to know you a little bit. And just,
Yes.
I felt like an hour in kind of eased everything up, like, and we were able to just smooth sail from there.
I think it was really good from like even in the beginning because it was really cool to talk to you.
Yeah.
You're not a host that makes people uncomfortable.
It's interesting because that's like the I guess the most I can't think now. A lot of people have told me that like you make people feel comfortable, and I try to, because like you're coming in my home, and which is like a nerve-wracking thing to have to go into somebody's house and then go into their basement and then now we're in the studio.
Exactly.
So I try to make it as easy as possible and as comfortable.
Yeah, I was kind of scared too. I was checking to see if I had service too. Sure.
Is he trying to kill me?
Yeah, exactly. Does the doors lock automatically? Yeah.
But no, it's safe. It's safe, everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
Also, feeling comfortable was also a big thing for me as well. Because trust me, if I didn't like switch that spectrum, if I stayed here, probably none of the conversation of Trinidad would have came up at all.
Really?
Yeah, there's people now that still don't even know.
Yeah, that's
they only know because of like the dance class. Like,
you don't think I would have got it out of you?
Probably not.
You just would have avoided it?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
I think I would have got it out of you. I would have asked where you were from. That's
lied.
one of my questions. You would have lied to me?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, I'm from New York.
Yes, I definitely lied. I definitely lied.
I probably would have asked where you grew up.
Still probably lied. Still probably lied because I know everywhere that I've stayed, especially in New York, that I've been, I know it like really well. So there's no way you could tell, right?
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm glad you didn't lie, and I'm glad that you were honest. And it was fun. You want to do it again sometime?
Yeah, for sure. Just let me know.
All right, cool.
We could always do it. Maybe we could even talk about other stuff
Yeah.
going on around
Yeah.
the world.
Talk about anything.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks so much.